Lay the draw is probably the first trading strategy you will learn. Most beginners will go onto the Facebook groups, Discord groups, betting forums, and they will ask the question, what is the best strategy for a beginner? And more than likely the answer will be to lay the draw. But I wanted to know if you could lay the draw as a betting tool. So in this video, that's what I will be looking at. If you were to go onto YouTube and put lay the draw, you'll come across hundreds and hundreds of strategies. Most of them I've already watched, but they've all got different opinions. They will tell you to lay the draw at kickoff, half time, 75 minutes, if it was 0-0, how many shots on goal there's been. You can use the drip method. Only lay the draw if it's 1-1. Look at the momentum, home favourite, pre-game statistics. If it's a rainy night on a Tuesday and there's a full moon. Okay, maybe not that one. So I went onto ChatGPT and asked it, what is lay the draw? I'm not going to read it all out now, but if you'd like to pause the video and read it yourself. In summary, it says to do pre-game analysis. Obviously you need goals because you don't want a 0-0. It's best to have an home favourite, and then you need to decide when you're going to enter the market and when to exit the market. But in this video we're not looking at the trading, we're going to look at it from a betting angle. But some things still stays the same. Obviously you need to do the pre-game analysis, we're still looking for goals, home favourite is still the best. But what I'm going to be looking at, what happens if you lay the draw at the kickoff, half time if it's still a draw, and the 80%. The 80% thing is something that I do in a different video, which I will explain in a minute. This is a spreadsheet of all the games in League One in February. As you can see, I'll just explain what it is first of all. This column, as you can see, is the date, home side, away side. That is the Betfair price at 90 minutes, or should I say at the kickoff, 90 minutes to go. That's how much it would be if you was to lay it for £10. Obviously that is the half time score. If it's a draw at half time, these are the prices on Betfair again, if you was to lay the draw. And again, if you was to lay it for £10, i.e. that will cost you £19.60. This column is, as it says, the final score. I also made a note if there's second half goals. If the game ended in 0-0. The 80%, which again I will come on to in a minute where I get that from, but these are the games if you was to lay these games, and then your results. Your 90 minutes, 45 minutes, 80%. The 80% games come from this spreadsheet here, which I've explained in other videos. Basically what I do is put all the statistics into a spreadsheet, and what I'm looking at is the second half goals section here. And if it's over 80%, they're the ones that I made a special note of. I've been asked a few times now why I use the Division 1 League and not the Premier League or Serie A or the Liga. The main reason is, first of all, I live in the UK, so I know the teams better than I do in the other leagues. Also, I find that the Premiership, basically the prices are quite efficient and it's hard to find value. But if you drop down a few leagues, I can seem to find better value, so therefore better bets. when I first started this spreadsheet, I was going to do it as a trading, and I was going to show the difference in prices as the games went along. But I decided just to use this for now for betting. But I will just explain a few things. For instance, this game here, the Barnsley-Cambridge game. At the kickoff, lay the draw was 4.5, so that would be £35. At half time, the score was actually 1-0 to Barnsley, which was the home side and the home favourites. So you'd have thought the price would have gone out, i.e. you could have traded out for a profit. But even though the score was 1-0, the price actually contracted to 3.9, which meant if you trade out now, you would have actually traded out for a loss. This is something I'll explain a little bit more in the next video. I just wanted to point this out now, that trading, even when there's a goal, doesn't mean you trade out for a profit. But we'll go into more detail in the next video. So throughout the month of February in Division 1 or League 1, there were 67 games. If you was to lay the draw at the beginning of the game, the total will cost you £1,878 with a profit of £57.30, which obviously means you get 3% return on investment, which is not really worth it. If you was to trade every game at half time that was drawing, it would cost you £369 and you would lose £17.30. If you was to trade the games that I predicted at 90 minutes, or should I say at kickoff, it would cost you £684. You would win £115 and the return would be 16%, which is not too bad. In conclusion, what I'm trying to say is that betting blind won't win. If you was just to lay any game at the beginning or half time without doing any research, more than likely you're going to lose. Like I said, the 80% is what I predicted second half goals. Doesn't mean that will happen. For instance, this game here, it ended in 1-1. There was a second half goal, but because it's still a draw, I would have lost. So this is from 90 minutes. But overall, you would have won. "67 games is a very small sample, and obviously to have better analysis you'll need a lot more, probably hundreds or maybe even thousands of games to see if this is worthwhile. But I already know that just laying blind without doing research will not work. In the next video I will look at the pros and cons of trading lay the draw. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.